Hi everyone, Christina here. Just wanted to pop on here for a really quick update before this video starts. I've got no makeup on, my hair is just pulled back real quick. Definitely not a planned video. I would have gotten ready for that. But anyway, I'm editing today's video and I wanted to let you guys know that it is actually a mail call video. This is for August 2016. The theme was flowers. So you're going to see a bunch of flower cards sent to me from a bunch of you all over the world. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you a card that was made using September's theme, which is Halloween or cards with black. So I kept it really simple, just a little watercoloring of an image, and I'll walk you through that when we get there. This video is going up a lot later than I had planned. I've been sick for the last week. I'm just now getting my voice back. I had a very terrible cold. I'm sure you guys can relate. Just knocked me on my butt, and I wasn't really up to doing anything because I had that horrendous headache that comes along with it. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and let's go ahead and get started with the flower cards. So now we're going to head right into a card for next month's theme, and the next month is September 2016, and the theme for September is Halloween cards or cards with the color black. So I have this stamp set from Art Impressions called Meow-lloween, and it's so adorable. I love it. I love that Art Impressions is putting out clear stamps now, because then you can get more images in your stamp set and the price is still reasonable. So I just really love that they're coming out with more and more clear stamp sets. So I'm using this is some cold press watercolor paper from Arches, and I've cut that to be my entire card base. So it is 4 1/4 tall by 11 inches long, and I scored that at 5 1/2. And then I've placed that inside my Misty tool with some magnets. I just have the end of the card hanging out the Misty tool. And I'm inking up that large stamp with some VersaFine Onyx Black ink. Onyx Black ink happens to be a waterproof ink, and it also stamps very crisply, even on this textured watercolor paper. But because the watercolor paper is textured, and I knew it wouldn't stamp very well the first time around, as you can see, I thought it would be best to use a Misty stamping tool or a stamp positioning tool. This is going to allow me to stamp the image multiple times without that image moving at all, so that I can get nice, crisp black lines. So I ended up stamping this 3 times, and by the 3rd time, I had a nice, crisp line. And I didn't really want to wait for all of that ink to dry, which I knew it would need a while since there were 3 coats. So I decided to just put some clear embossing powder over the top. This is a clear embossing powder from Ranger. You can see that it grayed out those lines, but as I heat it with my heat tool and the clear embossing powder melts, it turns very, very black. This also creates a little bit of a resist when I watercolor over the top so that the colors of watercolor kind of are repelled by those black lines. It sort of gives each shape a little bit of help to keep those colors in the right areas. So I've taped my watercolor piece down onto a board, and now I'm going to be using some Mission Gold watercolors to color in this scene. Now I did want to mention that one of the main reasons why I love painting or coloring using colored pencils or anything with these art impression images is that they have full color examples on their packaging. So you can't see it on screen because it's off camera, but I actually am referencing that packaging to see where the darkest areas of the image would be, like where I need my shadows or things like that. So I'm going to be putting in just some really basic orange colors just to get some color down onto this area here. And I'm going to miss that last pumpkin's pupil. I'll come back and get that in a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and paint on a bunch of that orange, and then I'm going to move on to the bats. And for the bats, I'm not using a straight black color. I mixed a little bit of purple into it just so that it doesn't have like a really grayed out look. I'm planning to paint a couple of the cats in grays so they match my cats that I have at home. And so I wanted those grays to be a little bit different. So this first cat that I'm painting her to look like my cat Sophie. So she has a little bit of a pink blush on her cheeks. I know cats don't really blush, but I just thought it'd be cute. And then the other gray cat is actually Daphne. Now these 2 cats of mine look exactly alike. So I'm going to paint these 2 just the same as each other. And then this cat I'm painting like my cat Manny, who passed away about 1.5 years ago. And I still love to color cats in his color scheme because it's so fantastic and wonderful. I love black and white cats. So I thought I would go ahead and paint one like my cat Manny. So then this other cat that's popping out of the center pumpkin, I thought I would paint that cat in browns. So I'm going to be doing some different tones of brown watercolor when I paint this cat in the middle. But first I'm going to go ahead and add the gray areas on the other gray cats. So I had to look up some pictures of the cats because they were asleep in the other room. And I looked them up so I could get their patterning just right. I don't think I've ever needed to paint the side profile of a cat. So this is the first time I've ever had to paint the stripes on a cat's body like this. I thought that was pretty interesting. So like I said before, I'm going to paint that cat in the center. I'm going to paint him brown. And I was thinking of a couple different cats in my life when I was painting this one. My brother and sister-in-law have 2 Maine Coon cats, and they're kind of like a brownish gray color, kind of tabby-ish. They don't have really defined stripes. Their fur is very fluffy. But I still thought that brown would sort of resemble them. And then also my good friend Jana, she has 2 cats, and one of her cats is Gracie, and she's a brown tabby cat, and she's adorable. So I thought I would paint that brown cat to look like Gracie as well. And interestingly, Gracie's brother, Kirby, looks exactly like my Manny did. Like, it's uncanny. Like, you look at them and they've got the same, like, half of the face is black, half of the face is white. It's really startling, especially when you see them side by side. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So I can have my 2 cats and then my cat Manny, but then also Manny could be my friend Janice Kirby, and then we've got her Gracie. And then the cat that's popping out of the last pumpkin, I wasn't entirely sure how to paint that cat. I thought maybe I would give it, I think they're called points. That's like the coloring is like a point cat or something, where it's got like, you can't see its ears, but if you were to see its ears, it would have a little bit of brown coloring on its ears and then also on its tail. So that's where the coloring came for all the cats. So now I'm going back and I'm looking at that packaging once again because I want to make sure excuse me, I want to make sure that I have the shading on all of these pumpkins just right. So I mixed more of a brownish orange color and then came in and added some of that shading. Then grabbed a nice lemon yellow color and filled in the eyes and mouth of all of the pumpkins. So I'm just about done with all the painting. I'm just going to add some shadow underneath them so it kind of grounds the entire scene. So I'm just using a light gray. I also use that same light gray to shade in that black and white cat as well. Added a little bit more shading onto the bats, and now I'm using like a really strong black, and I'm just adding all of that shading in, and that's going to give a little bit more dimension as well. Adding more color onto that third cat popping out of the pumpkins. And then I'm going to use my heat tool to help dry this entire card. I'm going to keep this card very, very simple. I'm not going to add anything else to the front of the card. If you wanted to, you could add some glitter on the pumpkins or add a sentiment. Maybe I think in a nice bright purple would be really pretty. Some purple cardstock with the sentiment heat embossed on it or something like that. But I decided to keep it really simple. So when I folded my card, I had some cracking. So one thing that I do with that is I take my bone folder and smooth out the cracks on the edge. And then I stamped that happy Meow-lloween on the inside of the card with some more Onyx Black VersaFine ink. That's the card for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys send in your cards for the next mail call. If you'd like more info on that mail call, you can see it in the info box below or over at my blog. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.